What if I told you that you have the power to create your own heaven on earth? It's a question that may seem far-fetched, but the truth is, we all possess the ability to shape our reality and live a life filled with joy, purpose, and fulfillment. In this video, we'll explore the 7 immutable laws that can guide you on your path to creating a heavenly existence right here, right now. These laws are universal principles that, when understood and applied, can help you unlock your full potential and live a life beyond your wildest dreams. The first immutable law for creating heaven on earth is the law of intention. This law states that our intentions have the power to shape our reality. In other words, what we focus on, we attract. When we set clear intentions and align our thoughts, words, and actions with those intentions, we begin to manifest our desires in the physical world. To harness the power of intention, start by getting clear on what you want. What does your heaven on earth look like? What kind of life do you want to live? What do you want to experience, create, and contribute? Once you have a clear vision, write it down and refer to it often. Create a vision board or a mind movie that depicts your ideal life, and spend time each day visualizing yourself living that life. But setting intentions isn't enough. We must also cultivate positive thoughts and beliefs that support our intentions. Our thoughts are powerful creators, and what we think about, we bring about. If we want to create heaven on earth, we must focus on thoughts that are positive, empowering, and expansive. We must believe that we are worthy of our desires and that they are possible for us. One way to cultivate positive thoughts is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that we repeat to ourselves to reshape our beliefs and attitudes. For example, you might say, "I am worthy of love and abundance," or "I am capable of achieving my dreams." By repeating these affirmations daily, we begin to rewire our brains and shift our focus to what we want, rather than what we don't want. Another way to support our intentions is through action. We must take inspired action towards our goals and dreams. This means listening to our intuition and taking steps that feel aligned with our vision. It means being willing to step outside of our comfort zone and try new things, and it means trusting that the universe will support us as we move forward. Remember, the law of intention is not about controlling outcomes or forcing things to happen. It's about aligning our energy with what we want and trusting that the universe will conspire in our favor. When we set clear intentions, cultivate positive thoughts, and take inspired action, we become co-creators of our reality and begin to manifest our heaven on earth. The second immutable law for creating heaven on earth is the law of gratitude. This law states that the more we appreciate and give thanks for what we have, the more we attract into our lives. Gratitude is a powerful force that shifts our focus from lack to abundance. When we're grateful for what we have, we open ourselves up to receiving more. We begin to see the blessings in our lives rather than the challenges. We start to feel more positive, optimistic, and joyful, which in turn attracts more positivity and abundance into our lives. To cultivate gratitude, start by keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big or small, from the roof over your head to the smile from a stranger. The more you practice gratitude, the more you'll start to notice all the good in your life. Another way to cultivate gratitude is through acts of kindness. When we give to others, we not only make them feel good, but we also feel good ourselves. We start to see the world through a lens of abundance rather than scarcity. We recognize that there is enough to go around, and that by giving we also receive. You can also cultivate gratitude by savoring the present moment. Instead of rushing through your day, take time to pause and appreciate the beauty around you. Notice the sunlight filtering through the trees, the laughter of a child, or the taste of your favorite food. By being present and fully engaged in the moment, we start to see the miracles and blessings that are always available to us. Remember, gratitude is not about denying the challenges or hardships in our lives. It's about choosing to focus on the good, even in difficult times. When we approach life with a grateful heart, we start to see opportunities instead of obstacles. We start to feel more resilient and capable of handling whatever comes our way. So start practicing gratitude today. Make it a daily habit to give thanks for all the blessings in your life. As you do, you'll start to see your world transform, and your heaven on earth will begin to take shape. The third immutable law for creating heaven on earth is the law of presence. This law states that the only moment that truly exists is the present moment, and that by being fully present, we can experience the joy and peace that are always available to us. So often we get caught up in thoughts about the past or worries about the future. We replay old conversations or imagine worst-case scenarios, and in doing so, we miss out on the beauty and magic of the present moment. But the truth is, the present moment is all we really have. The past is gone, and the future is not yet here. By being present, we can tap into the power and potential of the now. One way to cultivate presence is through mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It involves observing our thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them and instead simply noticing them and letting them pass. To practice mindfulness, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably with your eyes closed and focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of the air moving in and out of your body. If your mind starts to wander, simply notice the thought and gently bring your attention back to your breath. Start with just a few minutes a day and gradually increase the length of your practice over time. Another way to cultivate presence is by engaging in activities that require your full attention. This could be playing a musical instrument, creating art, or engaging in a sport or hobby that you love. When we're fully immersed in an activity, we become present and engaged in the moment. We lose track of time and tap into a state of flow where we feel alive and connected to something greater than ourselves. You can also cultivate presence by simply paying attention to your senses. Take a moment to notice the sounds around you, the sensations in your body, or the colors and textures of the world around you. By tuning into your senses, you start to feel more grounded and present in the moment. Remember, the law of presence is not about denying the past or ignoring the future. It's about recognizing that the present moment is the only moment we have, and that by being fully present, we can experience the richness and beauty of life. When we're present, we're more able to connect with others, to feel joy and gratitude, and to tap into our own inner wisdom and guidance. So start practicing presence today. Take a few moments each day to simply be, without any agenda or goal. Notice your breath, your surroundings, and the sensations in your body. As you do, you'll start to feel more peaceful, centered and connected to the world around you. And you'll begin to create your own heaven on earth, one moment at a time. The fourth immutable law for creating heaven on earth is the law of giving. This law states that the more we give, the more we receive. It's a simple yet powerful principle that can transform our lives and the lives of those around us. When we give without expectation of receiving anything in return, we open ourselves up to the flow of abundance. We recognize that there is more than enough to go around, and that by sharing our time, energy, and resources with others, we create a ripple effect of positivity and generosity. Giving doesn't have to be a grand gesture or a large financial contribution. It can be as simple as offering a smile or a kind word to someone who needs it. It can be volunteering at a local charity or donating gently used items to those in need. It can be offering your skills and talents to help someone else achieve their goals. The key is to give from a place of genuine desire to make a difference, rather than from a sense of obligation or expectation. When we give from the heart, we experience a sense of joy and fulfillment that cannot be matched by any material possession or external validation. One way to cultivate a habit of giving is to practice random acts of kindness. This could be buying coffee for the person in line behind you, leaving a generous tip for your server, or offering to help a neighbor with a task or errand. By looking for opportunities to give in small ways throughout your day, you start to shift your focus from scarcity to abundance, and from self-interest to compassion. Another way to cultivate giving is to volunteer your time and talents to a cause that you care about. This could be working at a local animal shelter, tutoring students in a subject you're passionate about, or using your professional skills to help a non-profit organization achieve its mission. When we give our time and energy to something bigger than ourselves, we experience a sense of purpose and meaning that can be deeply fulfilling. Remember, the law of giving is not about sacrificing your own needs or well-being for the sake of others. It's about recognizing that by giving, we also receive. We experience the joy of making a difference in someone else's life, and we attract more abundance and positivity into our own lives as a result. So start practicing the law of giving today. Look for opportunities to give in small ways throughout your day, and consider volunteering your time and talents to a cause that you care about. As you do, you'll start to experience the power of generosity and compassion, and you'll begin to create a world that is more loving, connected, and abundant for all. The fifth immutable law for creating heaven on earth is the law of self-love. This law states that we must love and accept ourselves unconditionally in order to experience true happiness and fulfillment. So often, we are our own worst critics. We judge ourselves harshly for our perceived flaws and mistakes, and we hold ourselves to impossibly high standards of perfection. But the truth is, we are all human, and we all have strengths and weaknesses, successes and failures. By learning to love and accept ourselves just as we are, we open ourselves up to a greater sense of peace, joy, and wholeness. Self-love is not about being selfish or narcissistic. It's about treating ourselves with the same kindness, compassion, and respect that we would offer to a dear friend or loved one. It's about recognizing our inherent worth and value, regardless of our accomplishments or external circumstances. One way to cultivate self-love is through positive self-talk. Instead of criticizing ourselves for our mistakes or shortcomings, we can choose to speak to ourselves with kindness and encouragement. We can remind ourselves of our strengths and successes, and we can reframe our challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. Another way to cultivate self-love is through self-care. This means taking time to nurture our physical, emotional, and spiritual needs. It could be taking a relaxing bath, engaging in a hobby that brings us joy, or setting aside time for meditation or prayer. By prioritizing our own well-being, we send a message to ourselves and others that we are worthy of love and care. Self-love also involves setting healthy boundaries and learning to say no when necessary. It means recognizing our own needs and desires and honoring them even when they may conflict with the expectations or demands of others. By standing up for ourselves and our own well-being, we cultivate a sense of self-respect and self-worth that can be deeply empowering. Remember, the law of self-love is not about being perfect or having it all figured out. It's about learning to embrace ourselves, flaws and all, and treating ourselves with the same love and compassion that we would offer to others. It's about recognizing that we are all works in progress, and that our journey of self-discovery and growth is a lifelong one. So start practicing self-love today. Speak to yourself with kindness and compassion, prioritize your own self-care and well-being, and set healthy boundaries that honor your own needs and desires. As you do, you'll start to experience a greater sense of peace, joy, and fulfillment, and you'll begin to create a life that truly reflects your own unique beauty and brilliance. The sixth immutable law for creating heaven on earth is the law of forgiveness. This law states that by forgiving ourselves and others, we free ourselves from the pain and suffering of the past and open ourselves up to greater peace, joy, and freedom in the present. Forgiveness is not about condoning hurtful behavior or letting others off the hook for their actions. It's about releasing the negative emotions and energy that we carry around when we hold on to grudges, resentment, and anger. It's about recognizing that by holding on to these negative feelings, we only harm ourselves and limit our own capacity for love, joy, and compassion. Forgiveness begins with ourselves. We must learn to forgive ourselves for our own mistakes and shortcomings, and to let go of the guilt, shame, and self-blame that can weigh us down. We must recognize that we are all human and that we all make mistakes. By extending compassion and understanding to ourselves, we open ourselves up to greater self-acceptance and self-love. Forgiveness also involves letting go of the past and the pain that others may have caused us. This can be a difficult and painful process, especially if we have experienced deep hurt or trauma. But by holding on to anger and resentment, we only perpetuate our own suffering and limit our own capacity for healing and growth. One way to practice forgiveness is through meditation and visualization. We can imagine ourselves surrounded by a warm, healing light and silently repeat phrases of forgiveness and release, such as, "I forgive myself," or "I release the past and open myself up to love and joy in the present." We can also visualize the person or situation that we need to forgive and silently offer them our forgiveness and compassion. Another way to practice forgiveness is through acts of kindness and compassion towards others. When we extend love and understanding to those who have hurt us, we begin to see them as fellow human beings who are also struggling and suffering in their own ways. We recognize that their hurtful actions may have been a reflection of their own pain and fear, and we can choose to respond with empathy and compassion rather than anger and blame. Remember, the law of forgiveness is not about forgetting the past or pretending that hurtful actions never happened. It's about releasing the negative emotions and energy that keep us stuck in the past and choosing to move forward with greater love, compassion, and freedom. It's about recognizing that by forgiving ourselves and others, we open ourselves up to a greater sense of peace, joy, and wholeness in the present. So start practicing forgiveness today. Offer yourself the gift of self-forgiveness and self-compassion, and extend that same love and understanding to others who may have hurt you in the past. As you do, you'll start to experience a greater sense of lightness, freedom, and joy, and you'll begin to create a world that is more loving, compassionate, and forgiving for all. The seventh and final immutable law for creating heaven on earth is the law of unity. This law states that we are all interconnected and that our thoughts, words, and actions have a ripple effect on the world around us. By recognizing our oneness with all beings and choosing to act from a place of love and compassion, we can create a world that is more peaceful, harmonious, and beautiful for all. The law of unity recognizes that we are all part of a greater whole, and that our individual actions and choices have an impact on the collective. When we act from a place of separation and self-interest, we contribute to a world of division, conflict, and suffering. But when we act from a place of unity and compassion, we contribute to a world of love, harmony, and peace. One way to cultivate a sense of unity is through practices such as meditation, prayer, and mindfulness. By quieting our minds and tuning into the present moment, we begin to feel a deeper sense of connection to ourselves, to others, and to the world around us. We recognize that we are all part of a greater whole, and that our individual actions and choices have an impact on the collective. Another way to cultivate unity is through acts of kindness and compassion towards others. When we extend love and understanding to those around us, we begin to see the world through a lens of connection and oneness. We recognize that we are all struggling and suffering in our own ways, and that by reaching out to others with empathy and compassion, we can create a world that is more loving and supportive for all. We can also cultivate unity by choosing to live our lives in alignment with our highest values and principles. When we act with integrity, honesty, and compassion, we inspire others to do the same. We create a ripple effect of positivity and love that can transform the world around us. Remember, the law of unity is not about denying our individuality or sacrificing our own needs and desires for the sake of others. It's about recognizing that we are all part of a greater whole, and that by choosing to act from a place of love and compassion, we can create a world that is more beautiful, harmonious, and fulfilling for all. So start practicing the law of unity today. Take time to quiet your mind and tune into the present moment, and look for opportunities to extend love and compassion to those around you. Choose to live your life in alignment with your highest values and principles.